It's tofu, my family eats tofu, guys. Did you think I meant people or something? Goodness, you all have sick minds. I'm really not here to ruin Thanksgiving for you. My family takes it very seriously. I love Thanksgiving. Being a teenage guy, it might be the one holiday a year I actually get to eat as much as I want, plus it's a family holiday. When you have a family as big as mine, every gathering is a frat party. People are coming in and out every second. Raucous laughter comes from every room. And by the end, something is bound to break. My dad had 9 siblings. All of them had at least 3 kids. Growing up, my best friends were my cousins, and I had at least one uncle as a teacher each year of high school. Whenever we all meet up, we do it at my grandma's house, which may literally be the only house in town big enough to hold us all. This Thanksgiving, it was my Uncle Steve to greet me at the door. Cooper. He slapped me on the shoulder, then patted his belly. Ready to eat? I've been training all year. It's a bit of a joke in my family. Almost everybody on my dad's side is on the bigger side. Most of the year, we blame it on genetics, but the closer we get to Thanksgiving, the more we blame it on that. We're not overeating. We're training. I rolled my eyes at Steve, grinned, then carried my family's pumpkin pie to the large dining room table with the rest of the food. I placed it next to the tofu turkey, 3 tins of gravy, and 5 plates of baked yams. Like I said, we take Thanksgiving seriously. Fridge, my grandma instructed me from across the room. That's where desserts are going. For after. A few meandered over for conversation. They caught me up on their first year of college or the latest from their cross-country training. A few of them were dating new people, but none of their partners came. Our family prefers to keep holidays within the family. My cousin Melinda dabbed a finger in the cranberry sauce. I swatted at her, no cheating. Hey, she said. Not all of us are unquenchable voids. Just trying to get a head start. As we chatted, the knocking at the door continued. Family after family filed in until finally, the knocking stopped completely. That's all of us? Uncle Steve announced and counted all of us wordlessly. He checked his watch. Might as well get started then. It's getting late. We gathered around 2 elongated dining room tables. We said grace, dig in, my grandma announced. We did. She didn't though, just watched us with a distant smile on her face. Sometimes, we joke that grandma isn't actually part of the family. Since she only got the family last name through marriage, not blood, sometimes, I think my family jokes too much. The tofu went first. It was the blandest on the table, no salt or spices or anything. The potatoes went next. No butter. They were easy to slide down in between copious gulps of water. Not fair, my Aunt Hestia hissed as one of my cousins snatched the last spoonful of the potatoes with their bare hands. Our previous chatter had stopped completely. None of us were smiling now. We only ate. And ate. And ate, green beans. Yams. Salad. Stuffing. Chicken. One of my youngest cousins grabbed a gravy boat and started chugging the whole thing. My uncle snarled and tried to wrestle it away. I was already through my second helpings of everything, way more than most others. I took a moment to laugh at the sight a crouton lodged itself in my throat. My eyes went wide. I couldn't breathe. I struggled at my neck. I was suffocating. I pounded my chest. The piece of salad flew out. It wasn't the only thing. A funnel of brown, white, pink sludge fountained from my throat. I managed to turn my head, and the majority of it went slushing onto the newly shampooed carpet. For one terrible moment, everyone stopped eating. Mouths hung open with stuffing half chewed. Eyes went wide and pitying. they resumed their feast with renewed vigor. I wiped my mouth and fought back nausea. I reached for the cranberry sauce, but Melinda snatched it away. "Please," I said, "let me catch back up." She said nothing, but her eyes apologized as she guzzled the bowl of red, sticky sludge. I reached for another tray, but that was snatched up too. A third my Uncle Steve took it this time. All the food was nearly gone. There was still time. I was a teenage guy. I could fight through the queasiness. I didn't have to lose, not necessarily. Something knocked at the door, nobody looked. Why bother? We already knew the whole family was here. The fighting for the final scraps grew more and more violent. Kicking. Screeching. Clawing. Again, a knock. This time my grandma twisted in her lifted seat. "They're early," she said, and stood. No, there was practically nothing left. Melinda licked the last dried crust of potatoes from the rim of the pan. My grandma walked for the door. The knocking grew more rapid. I cast my eyes around wildly. My vomit splattered the rug and tiling. For one disgusting moment, I imagined scooping it into my open hands and tipping it into my mouth. There was no other option, except, I sprinted for the kitchen, more specifically the fridge, cheating. My Aunt Hestia screamed and scrambled up after me. I threw open the fridge just as the front door banged open. A cold gust swept through the house, but the only sensation on my skin was the coolness from the open box in front of me. There it was. I yanked off the glossy saran wrap and seized tremendous handfuls of pumpkin pie, straight from the platter. In the other room, my extended family went quiet. Aunt Hestia, who'd sprung up after me, suddenly slowed, hovering in the entryway between the two rooms. Her eyes opened wide, filling with a familiar, terrible horror. She was in its sight. I, however, wasn't. Not yet. I shoved pie into my mouth by the handful. I barely paused to chew, and I didn't need to. That was the beauty of pumpkin puree. It came pre-chewed, pre-mashed, ready to slide willingly down the fleshy tunnel that was my throat. My back arched, and I gagged. 3 times I gagged, but each time I swallowed the nausea away with more pie. There was still a bit of food in my stomach from before the sick. That had to count for something. My stomach was already bursting again. My vision went lopsided and dizzy. I doubted I'd ever eat pumpkin again, but for now I had to keep going, had to keep eating, had to. I froze. The guest, the one Grandma had let in, had finished inspecting the rest of my family, pausing by each of them. Already it was visible in the corner of my vision, but I didn't dare turn my head to look at it. Instead, I stayed still like my aunt. Perfectly still, it inspected her. Its head nearly brushed the ceiling, but it bent low to look over her face, stare in each eye. Pat her stomach, then it was my turn. I didn't breathe. Didn't even blink. The being towered over me, long-limbed, perfectly white, the whiteness of vanilla ice cream. It pressed 6 long fingers against my stomach and pushed in. Testing. Its head lowered to just beside my ear, and the thing let out a soft moan of pain, of hunger. It straightened. The white creature stepped away. I allowed myself a slow, careful inhale of air as the thing loped back towards the others and paused at my Aunt Hestia. It bent low and sniffed her one more time, then it devoured her. Her shrieks were violent things, sharp, terrified, piercing. There was squelching. Ripping. Tearing. The snap of something breaking. The gulp of things being guzzled down. All of it was finished within the minute, ending with her bones clattering to the tiled kitchen floor. They were perfectly white. The white of vanilla ice cream. The creature let out a single sigh of relief, then left the way it had come, back through the front door. My grandma shut it behind it. I gulped. I wiped at my mouth. I rejoined the rest of my family in the dining room. For a long while none of us spoke. We sat there in our chairs, in my case a vomit-splattered one, staring at the array of empty dishes and plates licked clean. One of the serving bowls was cracked from the commotion. Nearly every glass had toppled on its side, and cranberry juice stained the tablecloth a blood red. One of the younger cousins sniffed. Grandma made her way back to the head of the table. She took her seat and smiled a faint, satisfied smile. "Now," she said. "Who's ready for dessert?"